Hey everyone, Rich here. This is a Casio WS1000H, brand new for 2019. Pretty cool. We got a watch here with 5 buttons. We got mode, adjust, light, and 2 front-facing buttons. The bottom right side is a blank. That is actually not a button on that side. Before getting into the settings, I want to compliment Casio for actually doing the strap right on this one because of this right here. It's actually got a little lip, so that means the strap will not come off during regular use for its intended purpose, which is as a sport watch. Kinda nice. So anyway, let's take a quick look here. On the main timekeeping screen, you've got day of the week, month, day. You've got AM, PM indicator. You've got hour, minute, second, and nice big digits on this. Fortunately, it's big digits without being a huge watch. I believe this is a 42 millimeter size, and the lug to lug is about 48 to 48 and a half. This is small wrist friendly, which is good. But it will also it will also fit larger wrists. To set this thing, you press and hold adjust. Actually, you know what? Before I get to that, before I get to the adjustments for the time, let's do some other adjustments first. Switching from 24-hour to 12-hour is from the front-facing start-stop button. Just there we go, which is this guy right here. So easy enough. To do the mute function, you press and hold mode until you hear a beep like this. See this down here at the bottom right of the display? When you have a note with a little cross-out thing, that means you don't hear the beeps as you go from mode to mode. And to re-enable that, just press and hold the mode button again until you hear a beep. And it goes out, and you got your beeps back. So that's that. And then to adjust the time, press and hold adjust until you hear a beep. Now the first thing here is, notice at the top left of the display says LT. That means light, and there's a dash, hyphen, excuse me, at the top middle. If you press the gray button here, the lap reset button, you'll notice it changes to 3 dashes. What that means is that if you press it and it shows 1, that's a light afterglow, a night light afterglow for 1.5 seconds. You press it again, that's a 3-second afterglow. And if you want to save battery life, although it says on the right side here 10-year battery, realistically you're looking at 5 to 7 years. If you want it to last as long as possible, just go with the 1.5 second instead. So anyway, we have the we have the seconds that we adjust first, and you can zero them out by pressing the start stop, and then you go press mode to go to the next one is DST, on or off. This is adjusted with the bottom left start stop. If you press it, you notice how the hour changes from on to off. So on, daylight savings time is on. Off, daylight savings time is off. As it says OF, which means not of, it means off. So that's the first thing. And then you press mode to go to the hour. Now the cool thing is you can increment or decrement the hours by going start stop to go ahead, or pressing lap reset to go back, and that's cool. And then when you're ready to go to minutes, you press mode to go to minutes. Same thing, increment with this, decrement with this, press mode, and then this is the year, and you again increment with this, decrement with this, go to mode, and then you set the month again, increment, decrement, press mode again, increment, decrement. This is by the way, this is month, this is day. And then you're back to the seconds, and when you're done, you press adjust again to leave this. You don't have to set the day of the week because this has an auto calendar feature, which means that if you have the correct date set, this weekday will be correct. The TH means Thursday, because that's the day I'm recording. This is May 16 on a Thursday. And the next thing, okay, this is the big sell of this watch. You'll notice at the top it says lap memory 60. What this means is that this has a lap memory feature, and you have 60 records that you can keep. And the way that it works is like this, is that when you start the stopwatch with the start stop at the, so there we go. Now at the bottom of the screen, that is the this row. That is the total time elapsed, and the top row is the lap time. Now, this is where we pay attention to these buttons down here. I'm about to complete a lap. Well, first, before I get to that, if you want to just stop, you just stop. And then you can reset with this. Easy enough. And notice how this says 59 now? That means a record has been written. We'll get to that in a second in recall mode, but let's go back to this. Okay, so you're running, you know, as a runner would with this stopwatch, and you're about to complete a lap. So we'll hit this first, and this is what happens. Lap 1 has been recorded at 13.01 seconds. You wait a few seconds, and then it goes back to the stopwatch again. So again, this is the total time, and this is, I believe, time since last lap. And now we're about to complete a second lap, so we'll press this again. Lap 2 has been recorded at 21.66 seconds. And back to the stopwatch, and now we're just going to complete it, and we do. So total time 47.17 seconds, and then we'll just reset. And this brings us to the next mode. This is the recall screen. As it says at the bottom here, you are in recall. There are two. Now this first number you see is the log number. There are 2 logs in this. You have, so there's that. Sorry, I'm not used to runner's watches. I think it's a just. Yeah, okay. So you always start with the latest log, which is, in this case, log number 2. That's the most recent one. If I press adjust, it goes back to log 1. Now on log 1, this is how you go through your laps that you recorded. So there's only 1 lap. Okay, so if I press either one of these down here, you have lap number 1, which was 21.31 seconds. Okay, so then if I go to lap number 2, you will remember that I recorded a few laps there. So if I press this, there were 3 that I recorded. You can go forward or backward. So lap number 1, 13.01 second. Lap number 2, 21.66. Lap number 3, 12.5. And that's that. Now, this part, admittedly, is the most pain in the butt part, is how to delete a record. You have to press both these buttons. I press left and then right and hold, and you basically have to hold it until it says clear, and I think it beeps after that. Yep, there we go. Now the record is cleared. Now there's only 1 record left, so I'm going to clear this one. And all dashes means there's no records, and we can confirm this by going back to stopwatch, and you'll notice it says F60 again. That means there are now 60 records remaining in memory that can be used, and that's how that works. So the next one is the countdown timer. At the top right of the display, well, it says TR here to let you know what mode you're in. At the top right, that's the current time. And you'll notice at the bottom here, there actually is an auto repeat function, that's nice to have. Again, great for sport watch purposes. So I press adjust and hold to adjust this. You can increment or decrement with these. So if I increment, I'm on hours right now, it's hours, minutes. It's a maximum 24-hour timer, by the way. So anyway, I'll do 5 minutes. I'll go mode to go to the next part. And I'll just set that to 5 minutes. And the next part, when I press adjust again, is oh, I'm sorry, not adjust, mode. And you'll notice that the little auto repeat icon is blinking at the bottom right. That's, you can do you use the start stop button to change that on or off. And what that simply means is that if it's on, that means the timer repeats, auto repeats. If it's off, it doesn't. That's all that means. So I'm just going to set that back to 1 minute. There we go. And that's that screen. This does have 3 alarm feature. So I have this one set to 8 p.m. To set it, it's just like setting the time. You press and hold adjust. And you can increment or decrement with these. And there's something I want you to pay attention to here. Is see where it says P, that means PM. if I go toward midnight, anyway, you'll notice that, where was I? Yeah, if you're on PM and you go to an AM hour, switches over to AM by switching from P to A, which is pretty cool. So a lot of watches don't show that, but this one does. And if ALM is showing at the bottom, that means the an alarm is enabled. And if I want to get out of this, I press adjust. Actually, before I go do that, you'll notice the hyphens at the top right. This is if you want to have the this is month and day. If you want to have it as an annual calendar, you would set one. It only goes 1 through 12 because there are only 12 months of the year. So if I wanted to set it as an annual calendar, say on January the 2nd, I do 1 and then 2. So if I have it set like this, this is an annual calendar, meaning the alarm will sound on 8 p.m. on January the 2nd. If I have it set, if I go back there to just hyphen and then 2, this means the alarm will sound on the 2nd of every month. If I have it set to just 1 like this and this hyphen, I believe this means this will sound every day in the month of January, pretty sure. And if you have it set to all hyphens, that means it's a daily alarm, which is the way most people use it. So anyway, to enable or disable this alarm, see how it says ALM down there? Now there is a snooze feature. I don't use that. Press it again. The alarm is now off. There's no alarms enabled. Also, if I press the start stop at the bottom left, you'll notice alarm 1, alarm 2, alarm 3. So it's a 3 alarm feature watch. And when you're on the 00, that means you can set an hourly signal. Notice how it says SIG at the bottom. If I press adjust, it's off. If I press adjust again, it's on. What this means is that there's a double beep at the top of every hour, and I like having that, so I have it turned on. And oops, I went past that screen. This is a dual time feature, so if you want to have this set to another time zone, such as UTC or LAX or whatever, you can set this from just pressing and holding adjust the same way you set the time. So kind of useful if you do any. If you have like a friend on another part of the world, it's in a different time zone, you want to know what their time is, you can set that here. This time up here is always your local time, and this is the dual time. This is DT, that's what that means. And that's it. That is all of what this watch can do. I think this is probably the best sport watch I've seen from Casio in years. I bought this one. As a matter of fact, right before I made this video, I bought another one because this is just that good. This is an amazing strap. It doesn't have those stupid little curves in it. It's just a nice straight strap. Fits great. Although this is plastic, this sure is a very high grade plastic. You notice it does have a lip right here, which means it will resist getting dented, scratched, which is cool. So I'm quite happy with this one. It's not even on Amazon yet at the time I record this. It's only on eBay. They sell for between $20 to $25, and I would say, yeah, grab this one. This is definitely a good one. See ya.